Inside the clinic behind the driver's seat is where you're gonna start and end each shift. So when you're ready to start usage of the clinic, you're gonna come up to the generator and hit the stop prime button. So in this case, you're priming it. Give it about 10 to 15 seconds longer if the vehicle's been sitting. And then you hold down the start button for about 5 seconds. You'll hear the generator. And then after you turn on the generator, you turn on the inverter. That gives you power to the rear of the vehicle. At the end of each day, when you're powering down, you're gonna come back behind the driver's seat, turn off the inverter, and then turn off the generator. This thermostat will power on when your generator is powered up or you're plugged into shore power. It controls the front rooftop AC. And then these two switches down here, labeled refrigerator and tank heat. So let's say you're driving to a location that's far away. You're gonna wanna turn on the inverter, and then you turn these on, and that gives you power to the refrigerator and the tank heater so those can warm up. Then when you get to your location, you can turn them off, leave the inverter on, and turn on the generator. In the bulkhead of the clinic, you have 4 boxes. First one above the driver's seat is your breaker box. So if any of the lights turn off unexpectedly, this should be the first place to check. Coming next door, this is storage for your air purifiers. And then here you have a key box with all the keys labeled. And then in this final one, you have your Wi-Fi and first aid kit. And then this one behind the exam table is just electrical equipment. There are 3 rooftop vents throughout your clinic. For starters, you open the cover to the outside. And then this switch controls which direction you would like the airflow to go. And then you have 3 speeds to choose from. And then you just turn the knob to close it up. For the Ritter 224 table, you have a foot pedal down here. This raises and lowers the table. And then you have a manual recline and incline. When you're ready to use the wheelchair lift, first thing you do is deploy the parking brake. Secondly, come up to this wheelchair lift switch and hit that. And then the final step, once you get to the lift, is come back here and hit this on switch. And when these lights are lit, you know you have power. After that, just take this controller, hit unfold. It'll stop itself, and you hit the down switch. And then this yellow lever will deploy itself when it hits the ground. And you load the person in. And you hit the up switch. So these pedals right here are what deploy this yellow step. So if you're ever on uneven ground or it's rocky, just kind of tap your foot on the top of this when it's all the way to the ground, and that will deploy this little step. So now we'll keep going up. Then it'll stop itself again. The person enters, and then you hit the fold button. And after that, you are all set. You can turn this switch off or you can leave it on. But as long as you hit the switch up front on the dash and unrelease the parking brake, the power will be off. To fill up the water tank, you unscrew this cap at the rear of the vehicle next to the wheelchair lift. And then you just take a hose and connect it right there. And then once water overfills, you know your tank is full. To empty the water tank, you're gonna come right below the wheelchair lift and pull out this tube. So this end is gonna connect into here, and then that's gonna go into the waste removal area site. And then you come over to this side, make sure you have gloves on. You just twist this end of the hose onto the knob, and then you pull this out. And there you go. And when you're all done, you push it back in, unscrew this, put this back on. So if you're near a 250 volt hookup, you're going to want to plug this in, line up the metal to the metal, and give it a quarter turn. You lock this ring in place, and then you plug that end into the wall unit. And then when you're all set, you just unscrew it. And then using this in place of the generator, you still turn on the inverter. On the street side of the clinic, this is your generator. You won't really need to access this for service from the outside. And then right next to it, you have a storage area. On the curb side of the clinic, here you have your battery box. So you just pull that yellow tab. You can jump the clinic from right here. When you're done, just push that in. Make sure it's locked. And right next to that is more storage. You have your roadside kit, and then here is your shore power cord. To operate the power awning, you're gonna come inside the clinic. Right above the doorway, you have awning in and out, and then the LED lights on and off. So right now the LED lights are on, now they're off. And then you just hold down this awning out button. Then the awning will stop itself when it's fully retracted. And then to move the awning back in, just hit the awning in button and hold that down until it's flush against the clinic.